And that pissed me off so much. Like, oh my god. Like, you guys don't even know how much that pissed me off.
Got a good life, got a damn good life, got a good life, got a damn good life with you.
Hi guys, it's Doreen and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about kind of like a story time video, and personally when I do story time videos I don't like to talk about anything negative just because I feel like, you know, what's the point? Really the only reason why I'm doing this video is because I really want to just share my experience with you guys and tell you guys the honest truth as well. And again, not everything is always going to be like happy and like great and everything. So real quick, before I get into this video, I want to have a quick disclaimer that if you know this person, if you know who I'm talking about, if you have any idea who they might be, please do not tag them in the comments or go to their social media and send them hate, because that's not what this whole video is about. This whole video is mainly just me telling my experience the way it is. And obviously there's two sides to every story, but this is my side. Yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Obviously, as you can tell from the title of this video, it's going to be about what happened in Germany. So 2 years ago, back in 2016, over the summer, I met this girl on Instagram and she lived in France. Me and that girl, we decided that we wanted to come visit each other, and she didn't speak English too well, but she was definitely making a really big effort to make sure that we can communicate and things like that. While her English wasn't the best, I still could understand her very well. And so we had this plan for me to go to stay with her in France, and then for her to come to stay with me in California. I ended up having an amazing trip. If you guys want to watch this video, it is right here where the card is. Like I was saying, we had an amazing time. They literally drove 5 hours to come get me from Paris because that was the more affordable flight for me. And they planned out like a whole amazing trip and really made me feel comfortable, really made me feel welcome. And I'm still always in contact with her and keeping in touch, so it's really good to have a friend that's international, you know? Come the next year, I met this girl on Instagram, and it's kind of like the same way that me and that other girl in France met, but it was a little bit different. With this other girl, she was just like messaging me, and she had quite a substantial amount of followers on Instagram. Her feed was like perfect. Everything matched everything, and it was like, you know, she had a very nice feed. We were talking back and forth, and she was super kind and super sweet, and she lived in Germany. So we talked about, like, she saw the video and she said that she's done it with this other girl and that she's never been to LA before, so maybe we could do something similar. And so I said, okay, let's start planning for the next year, you know, because when you buy tickets, you want to buy them early. We decided for the summertime of 2017, and we decided that it would be that I'm going to stay with her for 2 weeks, and then she's going to stay with me for 2 weeks, so that way it's even. Wait, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, that with the girl in France, we had the trip be that I didn't have to pay for anything while I was there other than like shopping and like personal things. But then when she was here, I paid for everything. So if we ever went to an amusement park or we went to a movie or we went to like a restaurant or something, it's like everything was paid for, so we wouldn't have to exchange the currencies, and then it's just a little too expensive, you know? I explained that to the girl in Germany, and while it worked out really well in France, the girl in Germany is like, yeah, it's no problem, like, we'll do that too. So I was like, great. And I thought everything was great until she showed me, like, we sent each other the screenshots of when our flight is. That way we have the information and we know which date and terminal and time to go pick each other up. We booked our flights and I sent her my information. And then when she sent me hers, I saw that she booked it for 3 weeks. And for me, it just like, it didn't seem fair because we agreed on 2 weeks. And when my friend from France was here, it was super easy because my parents were able to give me money to pay for our activities, you know? But with this trip, my parents said that I would have to pay for her stay here. So I said, that's no problem. I saved up a lot of money for this trip and working, saving. And so I explained to that girl that that's not really fair because while I was staying with her, her family was gonna be taking care of me and it was like no issue for her. But for me, it was a little different because it's just solely me paying for the both of us to go to restaurants and to amusement parks, and she wanted to go to like New York and like all these places, and I was like, whoa, like we're just gonna stay kind of in LA. There's a lot of things we can do. I can't afford exactly for us to go to New York and do all this stuff. Like, sure, it may sound nice, and I was trying super hard to just be really kind to her and not be like, no, we're not doing that. Like, I can't afford that, you know? Maybe she just got confused about that we're not going to be like touring the US, you know? We were going back and forth about it. Oh, like, that's not really what we agreed on. And I was trying really hard to be understanding and respectful. I said maybe there was like a miscommunication or something. And she said, no, it's fine. It's just that was the flight that was cheapest for me and everything. And she said, just as long as you give me a place to stay, then I could just pay for my last week there. It was also really difficult for me because I was starting school that last week that she booked the flight to be. So it's like for the 2 weeks, and then I would have had a week of getting ready for the new school year and going to a new college and everything. And then she would be there. I don't know, it was just a little strange to me. But I said it's no problem, like she already paid for the ticket, I wasn't gonna make a big deal out of it. I got ready for the trip and I tried not to have any expectations, but I was hoping at least that I will have the same friendship as the girl in France with the girl in Germany. You know, because it's just good to have international friends and just have a good time and everything, and I was trying to think like really positively. And I made like a list of everywhere we're gonna go and everywhere I want to show her around and everything, and it's just like, it's fun, you know, getting to show someone internationally your whole life and them getting to experience it, so it's really fun. And vice versa too, you know, I wasn't gonna go and push all of my American ways on her and her family. I was trying my best to just kind of remain very, you know, respectful and calm and just open-minded as well. I was honestly, like, this may sound dumb, but like looking at her Instagram and everything, I felt like in a way I was like less than her, because she had like a lot of like designer things and she looked like someone with a lot of money. Like she had like a lot of expectations in a way. And I mean, that sounds bad on my part to be judging her a lot like that, but at the same time, like for me, I wanted to almost like impress her in a way. I really wanted to get new suitcases that like not my old suitcases that were really like worn out and everything. I wanted to get new clothes and everything and just like a lot of new things so I can kind of fit in and have her accept me, if that makes any sense. So my mom took me shopping and we got like new shoes, very casual clothes, especially because it was the summertime. So I was thinking what would be most ideal. And at the same time, I was just trying to think of like, oh, this would be cute to have. This would be like perfect because she has so many Instagram followers and she takes so many photos that we could take photos together. So I wanted, you know, to match her aesthetic in a way. And again, that sounds really dumb, but that's just like what I thought at the time. Going to the actual trip, as you guys may have or may have not seen, I'm again gonna put cards here. I did vlog my entire trip in Germany. If you guys notice, I did not put her in any of the clips at all. I wanted to protect her privacy for personal reasons. Even though she was in actually a lot of the vlogs, I cut her out. I voiced over a lot of things as well. The day of my flight, she sent me a message saying, hey, so I'm not going to be able to come pick you up from the airport, but my mother's boyfriend will, and this is what he looks like. She sent me a picture of him. Again, trying not to think too much about it. I was like, okay, well, whatever, that's fine. And keep in mind, I was 19, so I was still young. I'm 20 now, but still young, still a teenager. I was just really looking forward to meeting her and everything, and I arrived. And the boyfriend of her mother was super, super nice. He drove me to her house and everything, and I got there at nighttime. So I got to her house and I met her there, and she showed me like where I could put on my clothes and where I could put like my makeup and like my toiletries and things like that. And she just said, okay, so now you can unpack. And she went and got a blow-up mattress. I mean, at first I was like, okay, well, this is not bad, I'll make it work. Upon meeting her, she was very, very nice and very kind and everything. But then going into the week, it slowly deteriorated because she would just do a lot of really subtle things that were just extremely rude. Maybe that's just me overreacting in a way or being like very dramatic, but it's just the stuff that she did would just make me feel so uncomfortable and so unwelcome. If there's one thing you guys should know about me, it's that I try my best to be very respectful to people around me, especially if I'm just meeting them, and just try my best not to put myself in a situation where I might be insulting. I'm not one to confront people either. I never told her anything because I'm not a person who likes confrontation. And what I'm talking about, it's first start with like little things. For example, that she would like move my stuff everywhere, or like if I was in the room, she would just like turn off the light and leave. You know, it's just like a lot of really subtle things like that it started out with. And then it gradually became to be a lot more impactful for me. Like, for example, that in Germany, it's very, very cold and rainy a lot of the times. And I didn't know this, and I'm an LA girl, so I didn't really have a lot of warm clothes with me. Again, it was raining all the time that I was there with her, like almost every single day. When she wanted to go out and we were gonna go to the train station or go to the supermarket and things like that, I didn't have a lot of warm clothes with me, especially the clothes that I did have. They're very, very thin material, and it's not enough to keep me warm because here was summertime, so I couldn't go out and buy winter clothes in the summer here. I would try my best to keep myself warm, and then she's like looking at me like up and down like, oh, you're gonna be cold in that. And it just like, she could have said it in a better way. I just told her like, oh, so, like, thank you for letting me know, but maybe we should go shopping then so I can buy warmer clothes and it would be fun for us to go shopping together. I brought money too, for shopping, and I told her like, I'm not expecting you to buy me clothes, like let's go shopping together. That way I can buy clothes that are more appropriate for the weather. And she's like, well, I don't want to go shopping, or we can go next week. And it's like, what am I supposed to do in that moment until next week? I really don't have any clothes. She told me whenever I had dirty clothes to just put it in the laundry basket. And so all my warm clothes, they would just get piled up in the laundry basket, and they weren't doing the laundry until the end of the week. So I guess that was kind of like the routine, which is fine. After a while, I was like left with barely any clothes other than like summer tank tops and shorts and things like that. And it's pouring raining outside. So I was just feeling like super, super embarrassed about that. I told her, oh, let's try to make a video together where we do each other's makeup. Like you can do like German style makeup on me, and then I'll do American style makeup on you, and just like have fun with it. And we were gonna film a YouTube video all like separately about that. And so she's like, yeah, that sounds fun, let's do it. She did like a beautiful makeup on me and everything, and I was really enjoying it. And then she said, okay, well, before we do my makeup, we need to go for a run and I need to work out, so do you want to come work out with me? And I was like, yeah, sure. She was like getting ready, and then she's like, okay, are you ready? I was like, yeah. And we went for a run, and as we get back to the house, she tells me, did you notice all the people staring at you that you were wearing makeup while you're working out? Like, it's so weird. And she's just like laughing about it. In my head, I was honestly thinking like, why do you care? Why do you care what people think about me? Why do you care about my clothes, or if I'm wearing makeup while I'm running? Like, who cares? It's not gonna affect you. It's not gonna affect your life in any way. So that's just what I was thinking, but obviously I wasn't gonna say that to her. I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't really notice it, but all right. She had like a lot of other things, like her family. She had another sibling that I never saw them. I think I saw them maybe once or twice, but they never spoke to me at all. They never even said hello or anything. Her and her mother spoke English very well, but her mother would never talk to me at all, only speak in German. And I mean, again, that's fine, that's their family, but at the same time, like, if we're sitting down and eating, at least say hello, talk to me. And I was trying my best to make an effort to also be incorporated in their language and having, like, asking questions. How do you say thank you? How do you say please? Like, just very basic things just so I could learn, because the whole reason of me being there is to just immerse myself into the culture and learn something new. Another big problem I had was that she and her family were all like vegan vegetarians. So most of their food, it wasn't food that I was used to. And there wasn't really much I could eat in her household. And after a while, I wasn't even eating at all. All the food that I ate, I would just get really bad stomach aches. I would feel really bad. And if you look in the vlog when I was at her school, then I was talking about like how I had like a really bad stomach ache and I wasn't feeling well. But in truth, that almost the entire week I was feeling like really bad. When we were at their school, we went to her friend's car. Her friend picked up her and I from the train station, and also another friend too. So it was like a packed car. So when we were driving to her school, then she was like saying stuff. Let me just say this, like, when someone is talking shit about you. Like, you don't even have to speak the same language. Like, when something is up. Like, she would like say stuff to her friend. I would be like looking off the window, and then I'd just like turn to her, and then her and her friend just like look at me, and I go like, what? And she and her friend just start laughing. And that pissed me off so much. Like, oh my God. Like, you guys don't even know how much that pissed me off. Because, you just know someone's talking about you, and I'm like getting so antsy here and so anxious talking about the story. And again, I remained calm, and I was just like, whatever. Basically, she invited me to go over to her school, and I was saying like, sure, it'd be really nice to go see what a German school is like, and especially just like her school, and see all her friends and like meet people and see what they learn in class and everything. So I thought that would be just like overall really interesting. So I agreed to it. We had to wake up really early in the morning and we had to stay there pretty much for most of the day. She told me that not to tell anyone that I make YouTube videos. She said, that's really weird and you shouldn't tell anyone that you make YouTube videos because people are going to judge you for it. So I told her, you know, like I understand that, that's fine, which in my opinion, it was just like, okay, that's a little strange, you know? And she also didn't tell anybody that I was coming to her school. You know, like she didn't tell her teachers, she didn't really tell her classmates or her friends or anything. So when I got there, it's like, in a way, she was kind of like setting me up for embarrassment and just like really just putting me in a very uncomfortable situation that when I got to her class, we had a German class, so I just sat there and her teacher was speaking to me in German and I was just like, oh, like I don't understand. And so I just looked at her and she just starts laughing and then her teacher was just like, okay, and then she just continues on with her lesson. So I just sat there. Again, I got my stomach ache, so I told her I was gonna go use the restroom. Then by the time I came back, it was like the end of the class. As we were leaving, like packing up our stuff, we were walking out. And then the teacher said something to me and she was like trying to have a conversation with me. I was like, oh, sorry, I don't speak any German. She was like very confused. The girl, she just walks out with me. And then as we leave the classroom, she tells me, oh, that was extremely rude that you didn't say anything to the teacher. She probably thinks you're super weird. Most of the time in the class, and I think this is what really, like in the vlog, this is where I cut it off and I was like talking about how we were finishing up the classes and how different it was and everything. And I didn't mean for it to sound offensive to German people at all. And I don't think German people are stupid or anything. And I never said anything like that or that I think the school system is bad. It was just very different. And I was very upset and not feeling well in the moment. And I didn't mean to say anything negative about the German school system. But again, it was just my one experience. It doesn't mean that all of Germany is like that or all German schools are like that situation was, you know? So for example, that when I was in the English class and they were talking about like very specific topics and there was like no debating about it at all and everything. Again, that's just one English class that I went to for like 45 minutes barely. And I was there just to observe. I wasn't there to go and ask questions or really be involved in everything because again, she didn't tell anyone that I was there and it was just like, you know, super awkward that I was just this random person sitting in the classroom and everyone's like, oh, who is that person? It was just like weird, you know? So it wasn't really my place to say anything or to get involved or contribute to the conversation. So that's what that is, just to clear some things up. She didn't tell me that she was still in school for the rest of the time that I was supposed to be there, pretty much, or for the first week that I was there. I mean, it was very strange to me because at that moment, she expected me to go to school with her every single day. And for me, there was really no point in going to school, you know, like I'm here on vacation and I'm not here to be sitting in a high school for like 7 hours out of my day and just sit there and not do anything. You know, there was really nothing for me to do. I didn't have any service. I didn't want to be disruptive. There's really nothing for me to do there. I told her I wasn't feeling well the next day. And so she said, okay, it's no problem. So she was in school and I was keeping updated with Alexander at this time. And at this time, he and I were just friends, but I was telling him all about the situation and he was just like, that's whacked up, that's weird. And maybe you should try talking to her. What I decided to do was just try to handle it the best I could, not say anything that could be offensive, just try my best to be as courteous and respectful and polite as I possibly could. It just got to a point where I just was so miserable there. I was just feeling like so shitty about myself and just so terrible and being sick and just so much. And I told myself, like, I just thought about it that this is my vacation and I saved up a lot of my money from working and I worked really, really hard to, you know, be there with her and be in this country and everything. Because I honestly, like, it was on my vision board to go to Germany that I really, really want to go there. I wanted to go to the Devil's Bridge, which is the round bridge, and it's so beautiful. And there was just so much that I wanted to do and just learn so much and enjoy the food there and do everything basically that I did in France, but in another country and another culture, you know? And the whole point of it was for me to enjoy. And after a while, I just really had enough. And I told my mom, I was like, I don't know what to do. And she said that there's not really much I could do because we don't have family there or anything. Like I don't know anybody else. And then suddenly she told me that she remembered that my grandparents have a family friend that they've known for many, many, many years. And he's around their age, so a lot older. They would always go to stay with him and he'd show them all around and everything. He only spoke my native language. My mother gave me his WhatsApp phone number and we talked and I told him about the situation. He said, before you tell me anything else, give me the address of where you're staying and I'm gonna come get you. So he drove an hour with his wife to come pick me up. And he said, first of all, let's just drive around and tell me what you want to go or what you want to do. And I said, I'm starving. Please, can we go eat something? And we went to a German restaurant that was super, super yummy. We just sat down and we talked and everything. So I just told him about the whole story. I asked him like his advice, like what do you think I should do and things like that. And he told me that she's not going to change anything. Her family's not going to change. This is just the way they are. And he was very, very surprised to hear how her and her family were acting in general, because that's not really a typical thing of German people. And I knew that. Like, I knew that it's not just because I had one bad experience with one German family doesn't mean all German people are like that. And I know that. He told me, he said, well, what do you want to do? Because I am here right now and I want to help you. And I personally think that the best thing I could do for you is first we'll go get all your stuff, all your luggage, pack everything, and we'll drive you away from there and we'll find you a hotel room after that. I got to the house and I called my mother and I just told her, you know, what do you think I should do? And she said, just like do what you need to do and just make sure that you're safe and comfortable. That was like the number one priority at that moment. I took my suitcases and I literally just took all my stuff and I just threw into the suitcase. Didn't worry about packing everything nicely. I made sure that I didn't forget anything. I went into the bathroom, took all my toiletries, threw into my bag, took my purse, threw all my passport and everything in there. So I zipped up everything and I took the bags. I opened up her door and she was standing right there and I was like, my goodness. She asked me, she said, oh, what's going on? Where are you going? And I told her just as nice as I could, like, listen, I'm not really comfortable and I just wasn't feeling the best and I have a lot to deal with, but there's a family friend waiting for me outside and they're gonna take care of me. So she just said, okay, bye. And so then I started going down the stairs and I told her, can I please have my dirty clothes that were still in the laundry? And she said, no, I'll just send them to you. Like, okay. And her mother had gotten home and she saw the bags and she said, what's going on? And so she explained to her in German that I was leaving and the mother got so upset and she started yelling at me and saying like that I was wasting their money and that their flight wasn't going to be refunded for her to go to the US. Like, what were they supposed to do? And like blame me and everything. And I was just like, just standing there, not even saying anything. Then I told the mother like that I need my clothes. And then the girl said to her mother, she's like, oh, don't worry, we'll just send them to her. And the mother's like, no. And she went outside and then she like went into the hamper and took out my clothes and she literally threw it at me and it was like, okay, bye. Like, I honestly wanted to cry so bad at that moment, but I just held it in. And I took my stuff and I said bye to her and I went out in the rain. I got into the car and that moment I just felt so relieved that I was just out of that situation. The family friend helped me find a hotel room and then from then on, that's where the part 2 of my vlog start. And again, I'm going to link everything in the description and there's going to be the card. That's basically the story. And I'm not saying this to try to complain or create a crazy story time or anything, but the main reason why I wanted to tell you guys this story is because things happen in life. Like, you can never anticipate with people you're going to meet or situations that you might be in, situations that you might find yourself in. And honestly, like coming back to the US, so many people, I would tell them that story and they said, you know, that could have been so dangerous. You know, you could have been kidnapped, you know, really dramatic. But at the same time, it is kind of true. I could have really been in a bad situation. I really didn't know who this girl was. I thought I did. No matter how much you think you know a person, it could be just completely different when you meet them. So definitely what you can take away from the story is definitely be careful at all times. Learn from my mistakes because, you know, that whole trip really was traumatizing for me, to be honest. But at the same time, I don't regret any of it because it brought Alexander and I closer. And at the time we were just friends, but I remember being in the hotel room by myself and most of the nights I was very, very scared because growing up, I had really, really bad anxiety that I literally couldn't even be at home by myself. Like, I'd hide under the bed all the time until somebody came home and just like wait there and be so, so scared. and I couldn't even talk to people on the phone. I had so much anxiety, and it would literally stop me from doing things in my life. And this situation, it was just definitely a marking point for me where I realized that I could do a lot of things that I didn't know I could do, and it definitely pushed me past my boundaries of my comfort zone. I would talk to Alexander every single night, and we talked on the phone and we Skyped. I remember being in the hotel room just staring at the ceiling and the walls and just feeling so confined, especially because if something happened to me, nobody would know other than the family friend, you know? Like, nobody would know what would have happened. And that's why I was very scared. And just in the vlogs, you really do see me being very paranoid and very, like, insecure, you know? And that's just basically that I wasn't meant to be in that situation. I thought that I was going to stay with this girl and we were going to have a really good time. We were going to be, like, best friends and everything. And it just turned out not to be that way. Like, I was not expecting to be alone in a foreign country all by myself. I give myself mad props for being able to learn how to take the train and getting a cell phone and getting around and everything. It was super difficult for me, and I know that so many people online, they show like the highlights of going to travel and everything, and like everything's wonderful. But a lot of times it's not always going to be that way, you know? But it was a learning point for me. It definitely pushed me past my boundaries and pushed me past my limits. And I learned that, yeah, I could do this. And would I go back to Germany? Definitely. Honestly, I really, really would. Would I go by myself? I don't think so. I think that I would definitely go with Alexander, and I still want to go see that bridge really, really bad. And that's definitely a goal in life that I have. Do I think that that girl is messed up or has issues or things like that? No, I don't think that. Do I hate her? No. I'm really proud of being able to just be so open with you guys and share this experience with you guys. And if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any other comments or questions or just things that you want to say, please do leave them down in the comments below because I read them. And if you guys are new to my channel and you've never seen my videos before, if you really enjoyed this one and want to see more of my other videos, definitely go check them out and subscribe to my channel to keep updated with all of my videos. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Aren't you glad to meet me? I think you should. I mean, I really think you should. Yeah.